Post-pandemic tech bloat reckoning. Hi, I'm Ralph Henderson with Supply Chain Brain and Supply Chain Brain Media. Welcome. We're going to talk today about tech bloat. We're 5 years past the pandemic now. And what happened, to no fault of a lot of people, is we threw a lot of tech at what was going on because we just felt like we needed to get our head around what was happening. Well, what happened is we kind of added a lot of stuff and it started to create some fracturing and some stacking, and we need to address that. And good news, on June the 12th at 2 o'clock Eastern, we have a webinar that will address this directly. And we are honored to have one of the folks that will be a part of that, and that is the owner and founder of OneRail, Bill Catania. Bill, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Ralph.
My pleasure. Hey, let's dive right into it, Bill. We hear this term tech bloat. It's becoming more common in supply chain conversations. Can you just kind of explain what it means and what, why it's such a pressure issue for especially retailers and wholesalers?
Tech bloat is when you're trying to solve one or an array of problems and you have more solutions than you have problems. And that happens because of urgency. It happens because maybe a lack of information or data patterns on how to solve the problem because it's a new problem. Sound familiar? So that's what happens. I mean, it's nobody's fault. Think of it as almost Darwinian.
Right. No, I get that completely. So if someone kind of suspects their supply chain tech stack has kind of become overgrown or redundant, what should they look for? Like will the webinar help them with what to cut or what to keep?
Yeah, the webinar will focus a lot on maybe how there was a lot of point solutions that may have emerged and how to think through maybe a more horizontal or holistic way of approaching the problem. Maybe to deprecate platforms or to do a better job creating interoperability between platforms. I mean, that it's not necessarily always about deprecation. It's about kind of liberating the data so these solutions can talk to each other. But yes, it will focus on that.
So you'll be joined by leaders with expertise with product strategy, startups, and supply chain backgrounds on this webinar that you're doing. What are the unique perspectives that you think each of the panelists will bring to the conversation, and how will their real world experiences help attendees learn what's actually working to modernize these tech stacks today?
I think the thing I'm excited about is the diversity of thought, and the different dimensions of stakeholders that you've invited to this webinar. Everybody has a different perspective, but then that perspective is also refined by where are you coming from? Are you a shipper? Are you a tech company? Are you a carrier? So you've done a great job, I think, providing that cross section so that you can really evaluate the different unique problems that each of us have.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. I always tell panelists, if you guys agree 100% of the time, I only need one of you.
That's right.
So different perspectives are good. Hey, listen, to wrap this promo, one of the things we would want to know, so for leaders who feel overwhelmed by the siloed systems and underwhelmed by the results, what will they walk away with after this webinar? And what's the first step to regaining control?
The first step to regaining control, I think, is really truly understanding the whole problem. And, my hope is that through this conversation, we can normalize some of the key themes around how to evaluate your tech stack, how to think about the tech stack almost from a data model approach, instead of pomp and circumstance, FOMO, what you read about. Let's get right to the root of the data problem, because if you can isolate that, then you can normalize, I think, how to solve it. And there's no way to memorize this, right? It's a way of thinking. So if you can normalize around the way of thinking, then we can all work, I think, more efficiently to solve the problem from our stakeholder perspectives.
June 12th at 2 o'clock. Post-pandemic tech bloat reckoning. If you're a retailer or a wholesaler that's overwhelmed with tech right now and you really want to get something done, tune in. Thank you for watching.